Please let the rumors be true. Please let the rumors be true. Please let the rumors be true. Let the gossip be reality. Please.
But I came out straight. I hate when I rap or talk about guns, then somebody die, they turn into nuns, then I hop online like pray for my city, he faking for likes and
I just fuck this bitch, she fuck my pants up. I just fuck this bitch, she fuck my pants up. Girl, fuck them kids and fuck you too.
Ladies and gentlemen, he, she's, and theys, welcome back to your baby nephew's favorite TV show, Radio Disney and Nick Jr.'s most popular programming, Why They're in Hell. And for this installment of the show, I'm going to be more educational and less jokey. For the last decade, with the rise of social media, we've seen the rise of political commentators using social media as a conduit to get their political point across. And Charlie Kirk is one of them. He amassed a platform of millions on, just regular stuff like racism, bigotry, homophobia, pro-genocidedness, just normal stuff, Yesterday on Twitter, when he was perpetuating for like the millionth time how black people are inherently more dangerous and how Chicago is more dangerous and needs to be invaded by the federal government, blah, blah, blah. Only to get packed up Amazon Prime single-day shipping by a white man in Utah. And speaking of Chicago, I will leave you all with the words from a very famous Chicago rapper, Dirk Devontae Banks. New op pack in the air that's gas or what?
He'll still be alive right now if you niggas ain't gas him up.
This is going to be more of a brutal take than the vast majority of people on this issue, where Charlie Kirk was today, and I don't care at all, and that includes the family he left behind. I have absolutely no sympathy or empathy at all. These are people that repeatedly have no problem demonizing and making life harder for those that didn't have parents to grow up with, and that includes myself, man. They absolutely despise people that are homeless, that even just fell on hard times and everything and lost everything. They absolutely hate them. These are people that always talk about individual responsibility. Well, consequences have actions, doesn't it, my dude? I mean, the irony to be mid-debate saying BS talking points, excusing this behavior, and then it happened to you. Couldn't have gone out better myself, man. That is unbelievable. Actions have consequences. You guys think that rhetoric isn't something that matters. Well, apparently it does, right? But don't cry about it now, because you don't care about literally any other event that ever happens, because you would rather, just like as Charlie Kirk said, have a portion of Americans just be so you could have your little hobby. I think that's absolutely barbaric. So don't clutch your pearls and try and use them as a martyr now just because one of your feelings got hurt because somebody actually did something about it. I mean, these are the same people that will absolutely fund politicians and advocate for people that will cut mental health services. They will actively stand against a Medicare for all system or a universal healthcare system. They will do absolutely nothing. They will not do any mental health screenings, even though they'll talk about mental health. They will not make actual universal background checks and stuff. They will not screen anybody for any reason whatsoever. So who cares, dude? Who cares? You have an entire track record of being the absolute worst, advocating that people need to have their lives be absolutely miserable, especially if they didn't win the lottery of being born into a wealthy family and had an uphill battle their entire lives. They despise people like that. And that was my upbringing, or quite honestly, lack thereof. So yeah, I don't have any sympathy or empathy whatsoever. I hope that all of his supporters, it stings them and it's burned into their freaking memory how awful something like this is, and they can change their stance, because these are people that are so self-centered, they don't give a shit about anybody else until it directly impacts them or somebody around them. And maybe this is what it's going to take. Doubtful, because they have a 100% failure rate and a track record of ever changing their stance or evolving. I mean, how many decades do we have to have of this being an excuse? I mean, Sandy Hook alone should have been enough, and it wasn't for them. How many events? I mean, there was one in Colorado the same day as this, and that's not going to get any coverage or attention because they don't actually care. They view politics like a sports team, and they're just down a player.
Why the fuck should we care?
Okay, everybody, a lot of people are going to be saying Happy Juneteenth. It should not be a federal holiday, and I'm on my way to work. Have a good day.
Joy Reid and Michelle Obama
and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson were affirmative action picks, we would have been called the racist. But now they're coming out and they're saying it for us. They're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Play cut 52. Today, in my personal opinion and based on every objective analysis, he actually gave us more race focus and less emphasis on character and conduct. Because here we are 60 years later. Do we talk about race less or more in the last couple of decades? I'm not only blaming MLK for this, but his core driving philosophy was not about a colorblind society. That is a line in one of his speeches. He would actually be closer to a race Marxist, almost akin to a DEI type philosopher if you go deep into his writings, especially later in his life. So, and I think we as conservatives and Christians must reconsider some of the mythologies and some of the icons and the symbols that we hold up, especially as we try to reorient ourselves in a broken culture.
We don't embrace white supremacists on this page.
It's because I come from a place with consequences, but I ain't shocked by the Charlie Kirk shit at all. Where I'm from, right or wrong, if you do things that negatively impact other people's lives, there's a chance that could cost you your life. Like, say you put hands on your old lady. She goes back to her parents' house, beaten and bloody, and then her little brother sees it, decides he's had enough. He goes over to that house and he puts 3 in your chest. Ultimately, he's dead because the little brother decided to pull the trigger, but we're going to act like the hillbilly didn't have no part to play in that? Or maybe it's because I'm on the side that has historically had all of the consequences heaped upon them. Like, we're the ones who always get assassinated. Harry T. Moore, Medgar Evers, Huey Long, Harvey Milk, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Fred Hampton, the list goes on. None of them wanted to die. And to be sure, they died because someone came and pulled the trigger. They didn't make that decision. But we're going to act like that decision wasn't visited upon them because they decided to challenge the status quo, because they decided to negatively impact the ruling class? Now I've got a situation where I have an individual who has spent the last decade trying to strip the humanity away from everybody that he deemed lesser, out here impacting the lives of thousands, if not millions of people negatively, and I'm supposed to pretend like there are going to be no consequences. Again, whenever you do the type of things that impact, you don't know how you're impacting people's lives. You have no idea what your words or how they will affect somebody. We recognize this as leftists. I understand there's going to be people who don't like the shit that I have to say. It's cops right now who would love to put me in a bag. I get that. I go do it anyway because I believe that what I'm talking is worth dying for. I hope that Charlie Kirk feels the same, because whenever you get out here and you do the type of things that impact people negatively, you need to expect that those people you negatively impact are going to come visit consequences upon you. For right or wrong, it doesn't matter. In my world, that's the reality, and you should expect that it's going to come whether it does or not. I expect my retribution to come from the ruling class. Charlie Kirk is going to have to look out for it from every minority group that he's ever demonized. Moral of the story is, if you're going to be out here trying to impact people's lives negatively, you better believe in what the fuck it is you're fighting for. As always, bro, I appreciate y'all taking the time. Much love. Y'all have a good one.